Hello everyone. So today's video is about compassion and more specifically what compassion really is. So I've started working in retail quite recently, and I have to say it's been a pretty odd experience so far. And the main example I'm going to use for this video is a couple of days ago, I was serving somebody at the till, and when I decided to refuse them a sale of an energy drink, he got extremely angry at me and started swearing and, just shouting and stuff at me. And afterwards, I talked to my parents and, friends about it, just telling them I didn't understand why he would be so angry over such a small thing. But looking back now, I think I made a mistake by telling everyone about my experience and making out this man to be an extremely unpleasant person. While I don't obviously agree with him shouting at me, I don't think I should demonize him for it. I realized quite a while ago that judging people constantly was not going to help anyone, and least of all myself. Maybe the man who shouted at me for doing my job had lost his mother that morning and needed to let it out. Maybe he had just been evicted from his home. And of course, none of this does excuse his behaviour, but him being angry also doesn't excuse my behaviour of judging him and telling everyone about him. In my mind, I should have been nothing but compassionate for that man, during and after the experience. In my mind, it doesn't really matter how he treated me. I just want to be just as compassionate to this man shouting abuse at me as I would to a small cute cat. Sometimes I see people draw a line with compassion that, if somebody ever says that or thinks of this or did this thing, they wouldn't give them or I wouldn't give them compassion. Which summed up is pretty much I will be kind to everyone except the people I don't want to be kind to. And that's a bit ironic given often these same people push an inclusive agenda, especially for today's society. And I completely agree with having an inclusive society, but it's not inclusive if you demonize a group of people even if they have done horrible things. That's the side effect of having an inclusive society, that you have to include everyone, not just the people you like. If you truly want to be kind and compassionate, then be kind and compassionate to your worst enemy. Don't preach kindness to everyone, and then when someone is unkind to you, you suddenly act unkind to them. Does being compassionate excuse somebody's behavior? No, it doesn't. Because you're not saying what they did is right. You're just being compassionate to a human being who's no different than yourself. And I'm not saying I'm any different than this. I think most people are flawed in this, but they often think in situations that they would always remain calm and kind. And for example, going back to the guy who shouted at me when I was just doing my job, we like to think we would have done different if we were in the same situation as him, but really, I haven't walked a mile in his shoes, and he hasn't walked a mile in mine either. So, and we never will be able to accurately recreate every type of experience they've gone through or I've gone through. So, really, the solution, if there is one, is to have compassion for them. No matter, if we could handle that situation on our own, because, like I said, people have all different experiences. Some people will deal with things better than others do, and we should have compassion for somebody whether they can deal with something we can or not. So, I guess that goes back to just being inclusive of everyone, even if you don't agree with maybe what they do. In the end, I'll never know if the man who shouted at me really did lose his mother, or maybe, he was just angry, and there's not really much to it. It doesn't matter. I should have been more compassionate to him, either way. Anyway, So, just as a quick side note, I'm going to be making some new styles of videos along with this current series. And I watch a lot of geopolitical videos here on YouTube, and that's something I'd be really interested in producing, and I think they would take a lot longer though to edit than my typical videos, which really just consist of a voiceover over my workout. I still want to have a theme of fitness surrounding my channel, but I'm not sure how to incorporate it with the new video ideas I have planned, because geopolitics is one thing I would like to explore, but I also would like to explore maybe, I see I see a lot of people do iceberg videos. That is quite an old trend, but I still quite like them, so I might make a separate channel for that. I will keep you guys updated if I do, obviously. But, sorry for the quick video today, though. I think I quite like having relatively short videos that just get to the point, of just kind of what compassion is. In my opinion, I think it's important to know that everything I say here is just my view of the world, and your view of compassion might be completely different than mine. But regardless of what will happen or how you define compassion, thank you for watching.